Hey, Shalom. This is Brother Yawan. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Rakah, Kadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say Shalom to all the brothers and, of course, a few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Now, I seen this post earlier today. Um, Let me see if I could put the picture up on the screen for you guys. Apparently, there was outrage about the movie King Richard, the documentary about Venus and Serena Williams' father. People were saying that they went to the movie, they thought they were going to see a woman empowerment movie, but it was about a so-called black man. Yeah, they made their father had passed. All right, Venus. I'm talking about Venus and Serena Williams' father. He passed, and they wanted to depict the influence and why he was a pivotal piece in their success and in their life. But when the Israelite man is depicted in a positive light, that's not something that Hollywood wants. And I was reading the post on online, and uh, a guy made a good point. So I'm gonna show you his comment. Then we're gonna look at the preview of the movie. Then we're gonna go into some precepts as to why this is. All right. Let's see right here. Okay. So the dude was responding to the outrage that took place. Right. He says, "I want you to pay close attention to 2017 and now." To 2017 and now, Hollywood has an intense hatred for, we know we're Israelite men, but this guy, he's not in the know. But Jake is, no, coming to the realization that they're under attack. All right. Hatred for so called black men. And the black male image, now we've always known this since the beginning of film. D.W. Griffin's Birth of a Nation, that was one of the first major movies. And they depicted us how. He's about to tell you. Hollywood's first major film, and the text is kind of small on my phone. I'm reading it. First major film was the evil depiction of the so-called black man raping white women. So we know how Hollywood gets down. But since 2017 and until, goodness man, this text is small. Let me see if I turn my phone sideways. I can see if it gets bigger. Nope. All right. Since 2017 until now, it's going back to the pre-1990s level of hatred of black men. Every movie featuring a black man since 2017, if they're a strong and capable black man, they are always depicted as the villain. So when King Richard dropped, I was looking for the negative angle most modern movies portray black men as. I thought this would be a Joe Jackson style movie where he would be the typical Mister from The Color Purple. And if you've seen the movie Color Purple, they they depicted, people hated him in real life. Even though he was playing a character, they hated Mister in real life, man, for a long time. And now that generation is kind of, they're kind of passing, so people don't. When he's in movies now, they're mostly like little cameos. They don't know, they haven't seen that, but they hated Mister in real life. And that man was just playing a character. That's how horrible they wrote the man's character. All right. I was looking for the negative angle most modern movies portray black men as. I thought this would be a Joe Jackson style movie where he would be a typical Mister from The Color Purple type movie. So the outrage against this movie is the fact that his daughters produced the film celebrating what he had done for them, and also there was no white savior because in the film, black families and black men who head these families are supposed. Let me get the rest of the clip. And black families and black men who head these families are not supposed to be loving and functional, which is why he keeps saying black people, but we know we're Israelites. Must produce our own, and that's not going to happen. They're not going to let you just put out a bunch of movies where we're depicted properly. because that's not in this devil's cards. Remember, the earth was given into his hands, pursuant to Job 9:24. Look what happened in Bill Cosby when he tried to buy a station, and he said his goal was to rebuild the so-called black male image. And they said, okay, you're going to step out of line, and look what happened to him. Man was sent to jail, and got out of jail. Then they said they didn't really have any proof that he did anything, but they took a year and some change off the man's life. We live in a kingdom where this place is against us. Everything is set against us, man. Now, we were put in this situation for our own disobedience, but the Lord said what? He said he was I'll get it. He said he was a little angry with us, but this devil helped further the affliction. Let me see if I can find it. I believe it's in Psalms 2. No, it's not Psalms 2. That's not what I'm thinking about. It's in Zechariah, the first chapter. Zechariah 1:15. It says, and I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. So they took it too far upon the Lord's people. So the Lord he has a quarrel with them, and we know what their fate is going to be. All right. And shalom to everybody that's coming in on the comment board. Now I want to run this preview to the movie, because some of you guys may not know what I'm talking about, but I'm gonna run the preview. I don't own it, have no rights to it, and I'm not benefiting off of this in any way financially. But this is the movie that we're talking about. That's the topic.
What's going on? Everybody okay?
They got a call, said there was trouble in the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You all need to look around?
It's a little wet for practice, don't you think? Don't the girls have schoolwork to do?
They do their homework. Tundi's first in her class. Lynn and Isha are too.
Now, I don't even mind you saying we hard on these kids. You know why? Because we are. That's our job, to keep them off these streets. You want to check on the kids? Let's check on the kids. We got future doctors and lawyers, plus a couple tennis stars in this house.
The chances of achieving the kind of success that you're talking about is just very, very unlikely.
Okay, you making a mistake, but I'm gonna let you make it. Watch them hit a few balls. All right. So tell me your names again.
I'm Venus. I'm Serena.
So what'd you think? I wrote me a 78-page plan for their whole career before they was even born.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
These girls so great, how come I've never heard of them? They're from Compton.
It's okay. They're just not used to seeing good-looking peoples like us.
She's nervous. Take a step up.
Maybe she ought to take a few more steps up. Just get someplace safe.
I think you might just have the next Michael Jordan.
Oh, no, brother man. I got me the next, too. This next step you got to take. You're not going to just be representing you. You're going to be representing every little black girl on earth.
I'm not gonna let you down.
How could you? This world ain't never had no respect for Richie Williams, but they gonna respect y'all.
All right, so yeah, man. Apparently their father had vision, man. Man said I had a 78-page layout for their career before they were born. He had direction, okay, in carnality. But the beautiful thing is the Lord has allowed us to have the eye salve and vision spiritually, which is going to amount to much more. The success we receive is not going to be, it's not going to be able to be measured by this world scale. Okay, this is nothing. Let me actually go get one. Back up my point. You go to Proverbs 22:4. It says, "By humility and the fear of the Lord," which is important because the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Humility and the fear of the Lord are riches and honor and life. So that by this world scale, you wouldn't be able to measure the success that the elect are going to have, those who are delivered from the destruction. We're going to inherit the world, man. We're going to inherit a kingdom. All right. But yeah, the Israelite man being in the state and being depicted the way he is in the earth, that's biblical prophecy. The men that are the nation that's the salt of the earth, who clearly influences every facet of life. Whatever this devil wants to push or make popular, who does he need to do it? He needs Israelites. You know that, you understand? So we're the salt of the earth. Jacob is the former of all things. How could this man who the whole world follows, who the whole world looks to, even now in our low state, they look to us, whether it be sports or even the inventions. Most of the major inventions, you don't even know that is Israelite played a major factor in that. But Edomite go get the credit. You know, someone of another nation will get the credit for it. But the Israelites have their hand in all things, man. We make everything go. We're the gas in the tank. But yet we're at the bottom. Why is that? Because the Lord ordained it, man, for our disobedience. The world has a hatred for us, especially the Israelite man, which is why there was outrage about, a movie depicting an Israelite man in a positive light. Go figure. And a lot of those, if you on the comments that I was reading, a lot of the women that had a problem with it were Israelite women. But the Lord said the majority of them against us. Not talking to the sisters that are sincere. But the Lord said majority of them against us, man, for our own punishment and to give us perspective. Because I'll say this. Actually, let me go to Deuteronomy and read it first. Then I want to make my point. You go to Deuteronomy 28:30. It says, "Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof." Now, going into another man lying with your woman, most of the women you get are not going to be a virgin. They're going to be spiritually and imprinted on by another man. And the man that's really imprinted on our women is Esau, the so-called white man. They think the way he does, they flow with his agendas. They're pawns in his scheme, okay? Which is why they have so many of these masculine traits, and they despise their own men. Did that lessons maybe some months back about that clubhouse chat where it was thousands of Israelite women talking about how they need to no longer breed or make babies with Israelite men. It was thousands, and those women, they weren't just regular Israelite. These women were doctors. It was like a network of them. Lawyers, doctors, people in the medical field, and they were talking about this is how we do it. This is how we push this agenda forward. They were actually coming together, making a plan not to bring Israelite children in the world. They're already the biggest, detriment to our nation in the sense of all the abortions that could take place. That's a genocide that's taking place. But anyway, let me back this up. Let's go to Amos 7:17. It says, "Therefore, thus saith the Lord, thy wife shall be a harlot in the city, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword, and thy land shall be divided." Now, the point I'm making while I'm reading this is because the way the Israelite man feels about our women, what we have to deal with, the struggle that we deal with, the contention that we deal with in regards to the Israelite woman, the vessel that was made to be a pillar of rest unto us, is how the Lord feels looking at Israel as a whole. We're this harlot man that just doesn't want to listen. It's just doesn't want to play their part. Being a harlot in the city, like clinging on to all these different philosophies in these different ways. And spiritually looking at it, the Lord has given us insight unto what he had to go through dealing with us as a nation. You know, it reminds me of that song. It's a song. I forgot who it's by. It's called "Everybody Plays the Fool." Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, everybody plays the fool is by the main ingredient. Yeah. I used to play this in my intro. Yeah, the lyrics in the song. Now the lyrics in the song, it says everybody plays the fool, and then one of the parts in the song says there's no guarantee that the one you love is gonna love you. And the nation as a whole, we weren't loving the Most High because we didn't hearken unto His ways. He says, "If you love me, keep my commandments," right? And we weren't doing that. So the Lord allowed us to go into these curses, allow us to suffer these things, allow us to have these constant vexations in the flesh, to have a more spiritual perspective. Because when you're brought low, when you catch hell, you start to become more introspective. You consider your condition and why things are taking place around you. A lot of people that lean on carnality when things are going good, they don't consider their ways. They don't consider, what's going on around them or the consequences for their actions. It's unwise to be that way, but they do. But now that the Lord has given us the eye salve, we think this way. We consider the Lord in all things. All right. So that's the spirit you want to be in, man. Every day, whatever encounters that you're having, the hell that you catch, you got to be considering the Lord. And the Lord, oftentimes, I say it, He'll allow things to happen to you, certain afflictions, to remind you that you're supposed to be sighing and crying for the abominations being done in this place, for the wickedness to take place. All right. But yeah, back to the point. This devil, he pushes this this horrific image, this horrible image of us, Israelite man, especially in the media, to foster hatred towards the men of our nation, even more so. We're talking about the accuser of the brethren. All right, but right now you have a portion, a small remnant of the men turning back to the Lord and His ways and considering that they were once doing evil, and now we're trying to make our prayer before His face and offend less, like the scriptures say. A great example of that is someone taking accountability and understanding they were going off, and living up and dealing with the consequences and living uprightly and seeking the Lord even more so would be King David. When you go to 2 Samuel, the 12th chapter, and let's go ahead and go there and let's read through the whole chapter. David was called on his bullshit, and he owned up to it, and he continued to, his heart was still toward the Most High, even though he went off. He made a mistake. All right, so this is 2 Samuel 12:1. It says, "And the Lord sent Nathan unto David, sent the prophet unto the man to speak," because the Lord speaks through his what? He speaks through his men, Amos 3:7. "Surely the Lord God shall do nothing, but He reveals His secrets unto His servants, the prophets." Right? "And the Lord sent Nathan unto David, and he came unto him and said unto him, There were two men in one city, the one rich and the other poor," telling him a parable. "The rich man had exceeding many flocks and herds, but the poor man had nothing save one little ewe lamb, which he had bought and nourished up. And it grew up together with him and with his children, and it did eat of his own meat and drink of his own cup, and lay in his bosom, and was unto him as a daughter. And there came a traveler unto the rich man, and he spared to take of his own flock and of his own herd to dress for the wayfaring man that was come unto him, but took the poor man's lamb." That poor man had nothing. That was all that he had. "And dressed it for the man that was come to him. And David's anger was greatly kindled against the man. And he said to Nathan, As the Lord liveth, the man that hath done this thing shall surely die." All right. Verse 6. and he shall restore the lamb fourfold, because he did this thing and because he had no pity. And Nathan said to David, thou art the man. Because remember, David took one of his soldiers' wife, sent him in the battle so that he would perish, and took the man's wife. So he told him this parable so that David would have the perspective to see what he had, the errors in his ways, which is the Lord is allowing us to see the error in our ways in this captivity, man, and the things that we were once taking part of, seeing our own people, looking at them every day, seeing the wickedness and the things that they do and go off in. He's allowing us to have that perspective, much how he put the word in Nathan's mouth to tell David, so David could have to see the error in his ways. All right. Verse 7 again. And Nathan said to David, thou art the man. Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, I anointed thee king over Israel, and I delivered thee out of the hand of Saul, and I gave thee thy master's house, and thy master's wives into thy bosom, and gave thee the house of Judah, so like the house of Israel and of Judah. And if that had been too little, I would moreover have given unto thee such and such things, even more than that. Wherefore hast thou despised the commandment of the Lord to do evil in his sight? Thou hast killed Uriah the Hittite with the sword, and hast taken his wife to be thy wife, and hast slain him with the sword of the children of Ammon. Now, therefore, the sword shall never depart from thine house. This is part of the consequences for his actions, right? Because thou hast despised me, and hast taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be thy wife. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up evil against thee out of thy own house. I will take thy wives before thine eyes, and give them unto thy neighbor, and he shall lie with thy wives in the sight of this sun. For thou didst it secretly, but I will do this thing before all of Israel and before the sun. And David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. And Nathan said unto David, the Lord also hath put away thy sin. Thou shalt not die. Howbeit, because of this deed, thou hast given great occasion to the enemies of the Lord to blaspheme. The child also that is born unto thee shall surely die. So, these were the consequences for David going off. But Lord, the point, and I wanted to read this because he sent Nathan to give David that proper perspective to see the error in his ways. Much like today, all right, he sent, our apostles and elders on down. He used them as vessels to reveal the truth unto us so that we can see the error in our ways. And he's raised us up to show other people so that we could feel that sorrow, man, and realize, man, we were going off. So we could turn back and seek the Lord. This is on Philippians 2:12. It says, wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. So now that we see that we serve a power of judgment and that there are consequences for doing things that are contrary to what he's told us to do, not only do we feel sorry for the wickedness that we've done and that and the wickedness that our people do and what we see every day, all right, but we have that fear. And that fear is important because it is the beginning of wisdom. So we always consider the Lord in our ways, consider the Lord in our actions and the things that we say. And our perspective is through a spiritual lens, which is the most precious gift that anyone can have, because that is the key to the pathway to receive salvation, which is what we all seek. You understand? But yeah, man, I wanted to talk on that. I seen those comments that it was outrage about, the Israelite man being depicted in a positive light. And we're talking about that movie, King Richard, about Venus and Serena's father that they produced to give reverence to their father, which, just is a righteous thing. He wasn't a spiritual man or anything, but, you're supposed to have reverence for your parents and for your father and realize that the important role that they play in your life. The Lord set them there. But yeah, man, there was outrage from not only the Israelite women, but women in general, and a lot of simps, thinking that, oh, the movie's supposed to be about women empowerment. And what it really was, they were just showing testament to the hatred that they have for the Israelite man. But that's prophecy too, man. But that's all getting ready to change here in the days to come, because there's going to be transference of power and dominion. You go to Sirach 10:8, I believe. Let me get it. Go to Sirach 10:8. This is what we're waiting on, because us being depicted in this light for so long, and this hatred being fostered towards us even more so. Now this devil already hates us, but he's got it to where he's turned even our women against us. He's turned even the other nations, they despise us as well. They're in cahoots with this devil. But the way he depicts us, man, it has it to where people really look at the Israelites and the men in specific as though they're just naturally wicked, when it's actually the opposite. This so-called white man is the one that's naturally wicked. All right, and the brother put the precept up for me, the water. It's Sirach 10:8. It says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another, and it's getting ready to be seen that this devil truly is the wicked one. That he's the one that's worth all this hatred and disposition, right? So he's being revealed, especially to be the liar that he is in this time. Nobody is believing the BS that he's trying to push. You still have people that are just, it's their lot to be blind. But anybody that has half a brain cell, they're realizing that this man he's the devil. But everybody's so entrenched in this system that he's built that nations are kind of forced to go along to get along. All right, but he's a born liar. Let me see if I can go get this precept really quick. It's Psalms 58:3. All right, the wicked, and we know who the wicked are. There's a nation in the scriptures that they're called the wicked. Okay, you have people that do wickedness. You have wicked Israelites, right? But there's a nation that's called the wicked. You understand? A lot of people don't get that. They just kind of read through it. You got to realize, oftentimes, the same way we speak in code, the prophets back then, they were speaking in code as well. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. The Lord programmed them to be that way. All right. Proverbs 4:16, or is it 16:4? Let me go get it just to be sure. Proverbs. Yes, 4:16. Proverbs 4:16. The Lord says this. All right. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause them to fall. This is the nature of the Edomite. Okay. And then we go to Proverbs. Let me go get the other one. Bear with me real quick. It's Proverbs 16:4. Yeah. Why didn't it? So again, this Proverbs 16:4. It says, the Lord hath made all things for himself, yet even the wicked for the day of evil. So the Lord programmed them to be wicked. He programmed them to be a deceiver. That's their role in the movie. But people are waking up to it, to the fact of that on a large scale. And that's why people are going to turn against them. When everything starts breaking out, when World War III breaks out, and in these nations, they built the gumption to try to separate from them. It's going to be made plain as day, that he is the wicked. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Now, let me get back to this real quick. All right, so I'm going to read a couple of these precepts I got here for you guys on the importance of the fear of the Lord. And then we're gonna shut it down. All right. So this Proverbs 8:13, it says, the fear of the Lord is to hate evil. And I always paraphrase this at camp. I'll say to love righteousness is to hate wickedness. And that's what this is saying here in Proverbs 8:13. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the froward mouth do I hate. Okay, and you guys all know this one right here, Proverbs 1:7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Okay, so yeah, man. Every day you see something and it's just ass backwards. Every day you see something or somebody says something, or you have an encounter where you're reminded that you're in Babylon, the very place that was constructed for your destruction. All right, so with that being said, man, I'm gonna give all praises once again to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Kakadash. I'm gonna give the lines to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and I want to say shalom to all the brothers, and of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.
Thank you.